Today's show brought to you by HP. So as many of you know, I went to South by Southwest this year. And if you're watching the video in 2010, this is the year I'm talking about. It was my first year. It was my virgin year. It was an interesting experience. I became known as the Joseph Jaffe as opposed to Joseph Jaffe, because every time people come up and go, and you are Joseph Jaffe, and then they'd make the connection, go, oh, you're the Joseph Jaffe. I'm like, I guess I'm the Joseph Jaffe as opposed to a Joseph Jaffe. I've been so busy since I left South by Southwest, in particular just trying to catch up sleep and burn all those beer calories off my stomach. But I didn't have an opportunity to kind of reflect and almost say, here are my thoughts. So maybe I'll take this opportunity to do that. And hopefully I'll offer up a diverse perspective, because you know what, I'm not a tech person, and I'm not a purist in the sense that I've been going there for 10 years. So maybe my perspective, whilst a little bit uninformed and objective and uninitiated, also brings a certain degree of freshness and objectivity to the table. So the first point that I think is very interesting to me, especially a la customer service, customer experience, flip the funnel, is AT&T. So everybody expected South by Southwest to be just a train wreck in terms of connectivity. We weren't going to be able to Foursquare, we weren't going to be able to Twitter, we weren't going to be able to do a damn thing because none of our cell phones would work. Everything worked perfectly in Austin. And the reason why is that literally AT&T brought in an army of these like Delta Force mobile units, these boosting stations, to make sure that the signal was absolutely strong, never stronger. Now, you can look at it two ways. One is bravo to AT&T for being smart enough and proactive enough, and having at least that foresight to realize that if they didn't, they would have been crushed. They would have been annihilated, literally annihilated. I don't even think they would have been able to recover. Second thing is, a lot of talk at South by Southwest afterwards about this idea of, has South by jumped the shark? Which I find interesting because it was my first time I was there. A lot of the backlash came from those purists, those idealists, people that have been going for 25 years, I guess. People that really, are so embedded in the whole system that they are, navel gazing their navel, so to speak. So all this talk about has it jumped the shark, it hasn't even begun to go down that route. If you think this was bad, boy oh boy, is it going to get a lot worse. We saw it with CAN, we saw it with CES. The marketers are coming, ladies and gentlemen. They're coming en masse. Unilever are going to send an army of 50 of the executives next year or the year after that. 2011 or 2012, you're just going to see a rapid influx, an invasion of the marketers. If content is king, at South by Southwest, content was a clown. Content was a joke. There was no content. It's amazing to me how many people said, I came to South by and I didn't attend one panel. And the one or two keynotes were terrible as well. South by was and always will be about the relationship. So if you are going for the content, and if you are worried about, ultimately jumping the shark and marketers arriving, remember that ultimately the connections you make there are connections and relationships that can absolutely stand the test of time. Jaffe at powered.com, and as long as Twitter's still around, at Jaffe Juice on them. It's time to flip the funnel now. Pick up a copy of my new book, available wherever books are sold.